I remember one of the first rewards I ever got. I was probably 5 years old. Me and my siblings were being loud in the car, and my aunt said, "Let's play the quiet game. I will give a nickel to whoever is quiet the whole way home." And I was very good at being quiet, and I was quiet the whole way home, and I got the nickel, and I was so proud. I didn't realize until I was an adult that that's what adults do to get kids to be quiet. According to Jesus' second parable in Matthew 25, Jesus is the generous rewarder. The generous rewarder. And seeing Jesus as the generous rewarder will make all the difference to us as we get closer to the end of the age. Let's look at Matthew 25, the second parable. Jesus tells his disciples, again, it, which is the kingdom of heaven at the end of the age, will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one he gave 5 bags of gold, to another 2 bags, and to another 1 bag, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to work and gained 5 bags more. So also the one who had 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who had received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 bags of gold brought the other 5. "Master," he said, "you entrusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I have gained 5 more." His master replied, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness." The man with 2 bags of gold also came. "Master," he said, "you entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I have gained 2 more." His master replied, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness." Then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came. "Master," he said, "I know that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you." His master replied, "You wicked, lazy servant. So you knew that I harvest where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed? Well then, you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers so that when I returned I would have received it back with interest. So take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has 10 bags. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. And throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." Jesus is the master who goes away on the journey. We, his followers, are his servants. He has entrusted us with his wealth. His wealth represents opportunities, physical abilities, mental abilities, emotional IQ, financial resources, spiritual gifts, our spiritual callings, and all our life and family circumstances. He entrusts us with this wealth in different degrees. We don't all get the same. But the amount you were given does not affect your reward. Jesus is the generous rewarder. When he comes back, he is prepared to generously settle accounts with his servants. The servant who was entrusted with 5 bags of gold put that gold to work and earned 5 more. But that wasn't his reward. His reward for investing and using those 5 bags of gold wisely was that he was going to get authority over many things. He was going to be honored before others. He he was told, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come, share your master's happiness." Authority over many things for being faithful with a few things. The opportunity to share his master's happiness. Generous rewards. Did the next servant receive less of a reward? The one who was given 2 bags of gold? The one who used what he was entrusted with to gain 2 more? He did not receive less. The generous rewarder honored him and said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come, share your master's happiness." Faithfulness with a few things equals a great and generous reward of authority over many things and the reward of sharing the master's happiness. The third servant served the same master. He had the same opportunity as the others, even though he had only been given 1 bag of gold. It was within his grasp to be honored. It was within his grasp to be told, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things." It was within his grasp to share his master's happiness. But this servant had allowed a deceitful and dangerous lie into his life. That lie clouded his vision and whispered to him, "Your master is hard to work for. He only cares about himself. Look at the 1 bag of gold you've been given. Everyone else has more. Your master is not treating you fairly. Take that bag of gold and do nothing with it." What started as a whisper grew into self-pity and bitterness. The servant became encased in those dark thoughts, believing them and living by them. The generous rewarder comes to him, but there's nothing to reward. He is left in his darkness. It's a tragedy of wasted opportunity. Jesus says in Matthew 6, "If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness." It's so important to have healthy eyes that see the generous rewarder for who he is, not unhealthy eyes that mistake him for a hard master. We can't let the liar start to whisper in our ear. We can't afford to listen to his words that incite self-pity. Self-pity may seem so tantalizing, but it blinds us. We can't listen to his lies of accusation against our generous rewarder. The liar wants to blind us from knowing what it is that we've been given, wants to have us compare what we've been given with others, so that we will be paralyzed from using our gifts, so that we will not use our few things to honor the Lord, so that we will receive no reward. Jesus is coming. The rewarder is coming. The generous rewarder is coming, and being faithful in few things is of great worth in God's sight. And he will generously reward you. Your smallest efforts will never be forgotten. Never be forgotten. The smallest ounce of obedience will equal a ton of blessing. He sees it all. He sees every hard time. He knows your limitations, yet he sees and rejoices with every sacrifice given in love. Are you ready to hear him say, before his Father and the angels, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come share in my happiness." There are 2 things we ask you to do today. If there's any way that your eyes have stopped seeing Jesus clearly as the generous rewarder, today is the day to repent and ask for new sight. Secondly, we would like you to think about what you have been given. Ask God to help you do an inventory. God, what have you given me? It doesn't need to be big things. It's not about that. Then ask God, how do you want me to use the few things you have given me? If you are faithful with the few things, you will both gain more here in this life and will be generously rewarded in the age to come.